$19 billion loss and tariffs news. What's to expect next? Right. This is your host, Trade with Tayyip. Today is October 12th, 2025. Time is about 9:20 p.m. And today we're going to go over what to expect as far as next week for crypto, which will include Bitcoin, Ethereum, DOGE, and Link. And in commodities, I'm going to discuss what to expect in gold as day traders or swing traders, right? On Friday, I mentioned in one of the videos that I posted that this event is not something to be panicking for unless you're trading leverage, then it's GG's, right? But in the other scenarios where this kind of news have come out before. We have gotten worse news than tariffs. The reason why this big move happened is because $19 billion worth of crypto was laid out in the market for it to be bought back again. The reason I said bought back is because I think it's a pullback for the price to continue to push up. Today, October 12th, Sunday, Trump came back with a tweet that everything is fine. Our relationship with China is going to be okay. So it was kind of like a rug pull, and I do believe that the prices should continue to go up until the Fed rate, and at that time, the rate cut, if it happens, if it doesn't happen, regardless, up at least that time, we should have the prices to be, recovered and, create new all-time highs in crypto. So let's go ahead and jump right into what to expect as far as next week, looking at the technical analysis, right? So we have on a daily chart, we have Bitcoin here, and we have created a low. So let's identify a low here. We have created a low, and at this point, if we take a look at a monthly candle, right? Monthly, we created some sort of support here, like the second last candle that you see, and the next candle went up and broke above the previous candle's high. On technical terms, that means that we're creating newer highs, which we saw in the earlier last week and the week before. So what to expect next going forward, which I believe the sentiment is going to be bullish, basically, based on what Trump is doing. We have created some sort of low in the market, and now what to expect is that going forward, I do believe that we should be able to continue to push and create, test these highs again at 124, 125, and actually create newer highs in the upcoming months, right? Upcoming weeks, months, however it takes. But if I would be taking long positions, I would long on Bitcoin. My stop loss would be below this previous low. The reason being is because as a candle, right? As a price moves up and then it has created a low, right? It has created a low for it to move up. It shouldn't come back and break its own low again. If the price is going to go up, there is no reason for the price to continue to go back down to its previous low and break it. At that time, we're bearish, and my bias of being, the market being bullish is wrong, right? So I will be anticipating for price to continue up and push, at least for these highs. That's on gold. Ethereum, actually, let's go ahead and remove these drawings here. So we're holding this area strong. Wow, that's okay. Slow down. All right, so we're holding this area strong. On a daily, this doesn't make sense, right? But on a weekly, it makes sense that we're holding this area a bit, a little strong. And again, same thing. I wouldn't say we're in a downtrend, right? Because, most of what was lost on Ethereum, as far as on Friday, it has already been recovered. So on Ethereum, we went down to like 22%, right? And we're back up 23%, 24%. So that just means that, let's see, yeah. That just means the price it created a low for the month, and we should continue to push up. On Ethereum, even if we do some sort of a pullback, right? I do believe that the way these candles are closing, we should continue to push up at least to what's the price here? 43.53. The way these candles are closing, we're solely talking about technical base, not fundamentals. If Trump comes back and starts throwing bombs, bomb kind of news on tariffs on China and starting war with other countries, which most likely It's not, it shouldn't be, but knowing Trump, we don't know. I'm not talking about those scenarios, I'm just talking about technical. It seems to be that we should be continuing to push up, and even if we do see some sort of pullback, that pullback is something that I will be looking for as a buying opportunity. Let's go ahead and go into Doge. Doge, I think yeah, same thing. So what happened on daily basis, so this is a daily time frame. By the way, on the left hand side, if you look up at the top, it says the time frames, and so you can follow along, right? The daily candle previously, it closed, not only it closed bullish, but it broke above the previous day's high, right? If something is going to continue to go down, it should respect its previous lows, previous highs, right? So it's in that scenario, as the market is, continuing to push up, I would look for buys similar to gold, and I would anticipate for price to continue to push up by the end of this month, and the next month to fill these wicks here and continue to push up the price to about 30 cents on Doge. But for this to happen, by the end of this month, this candle should flip bullish. If this stays bearish, then we would have to, readjust our analysis. But what the idea here is for the price to continue to push up and close above 23 cents on the monthly, which we have about 18 days. So I'm anticipating for price to continue to push up. If we're lucky, if the run is good, then we should be able to possibly fill this wick at 30 cents within this month. So something like this, right? Then Link. I've been looking at Link USD, and I traded Link over the weekend on, I believe, Friday, and I sent out that alert on our group chat. I posted the results. It was 5%. At 3%, I put stops at break even. It's an interesting trade, actually. It was very simple. As this candle was closing bullish, I entered by here, and then this was about it's 5.88%, but I believe my target was 18.44. So this right here, somewhere around here. Yeah. So from here all the way here, it's like 2 4-hour candle closes, and that was the trade. Now, same thing, what I'm looking for here on Link, I do like the what's it called? The candlesticks, the price action for Link a little bit more, because what I'm looking for here is for price to continue to push up. And let me change this to a green, right? So this candle or the next candle to continue to push up, and the next, so that will be another uptrend for Link, right? That is what I like, this price action, just because that we have some sort of resistance here. We have some sort of resistance, and if the price continues to break above the resistance, we should be able to make that as a zone here. Because if we're going to continue to push up, then we shouldn't be breaking lows. So it'll be something like this. And then we can target the areas. Because on the left hand side, you also see that there is, left hand side is clean candles. When there is clean candles and there is volume, price will continue to push. So that is just kind of like a rule of thumb that I go by. If there is clean candles, then we shouldn't have choppiness, right? So that's something that I'm looking forward to in Link. And let's see, we have gold. Let me remove these drawings here. All right, we're still recording. Making sure that I'm not just talking, we're not recording. Okay, let's see. Yeah, gold is back at its all-time highs. Let's take a look at monthly. We're going strong. I mean, there is, see, when something is at all-time highs, technical analysis will only tell you so much, but there is more fundamental news that will drive gold's price higher. Gold bias right now is still bullish up until proven otherwise. So as you see here on the daily candle, we're coming up to this resistance here, right? So if we could close above, then we'll continue to have a run. Now gold usually moves in $5. Gold usually has $5 moves. So at a time when when there's volatility in the market, for example, New York session, London session, sometimes Asian session as well. When there's volatility in the market and gold is pushing up and creating newer highs, technically speaking, gold usually moves in $5 increments. So if we have a close above, we're going to be at 40.61. I'm anticipating for price to continue up at, let's see, let me make this regular. So if the price closes above this range, the next candle should continue to push up on gold. And let's confirm that with weekly. Yeah, see, even weekly we have solid green candles from it's just not it's non-stop, right? But that's not what we're discussing, the history of why it's going up. It's just fundamentals. As the world peace is not, the world doesn't have peace, gold is going to be a safe haven. Gold is always going to continue to push up. So yeah, we've started this new candle, and as this breaking above, I do think we should be able to continue to push up to new highs around 4100, 4150. So that's on gold. If you are trading, we actually go live every day of the week around 6:30, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time at Trade with Tayyib on YouTube. I'm gonna start doing that on TikTok as well, just live, just to push out more publicity, or just more content. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, market bias is bullish as Trump released news for tariffs on Friday. Following that, a lot of displacement happened in crypto, and now Trump is going back with world peace with China. So it was kind of like a sweep for leverage traders and grabbing the lower prices for gold, or for crypto to go back up. Now, if you ask questions such as super deep fundamentals, it's not my cup of tea. I'm gonna look at price action. I am going to look at volume, and I'm going to trade based on that. Actually, I'm going to show you here. It's very it's my price action strategy is very simple. I'm going to show you. I did last week. Let's see. Yeah. So last week I took 3 trades on all on gold. It was 3 buys. As you can see here, the dates. Let me see if I can zoom in. Can I? I don't know if I can zoom in here. Yeah, but anyways, you can see here, one was taken on the 10th. One was taken on the 8th, the 9th, and another one on 8th. Let's see, the closing time. Yeah, 2 on 8th, and then the 9th. So all were gold buys, and it was all price action, right? So looking out for fundamentals to guide you, but technicals are going to take you there. So that's what the motto is. We'll see you tomorrow, New York Lab session. 6:30, around 6:30, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, take care. Bye.